Turbines-RC here, coming to you from my garage in Texas. And this video will be about some customizations I made to the Mig-29, the BlackHorse Mig-29. The previous videos you saw were setup and configuration. This is some customization. So as you notice, we have a double nose wheel. We have different main wheels that are a little more scale. I just want to go over all of that and also talk about the thrust tube. That's been a problem, but I have one that works. So this is what we want to talk about. Let's go. So the JP Hobby pipe just arrived. I just wanted to show you all a big comparison. This is the new pipe. This is the old pipe. As you can see, already starting to discolor here from the heat. So took it out just in time. If you see, I actually provided these measurements. So this back here, everything is the same. But here is the big difference, and that's the length of this front part where the split begins. And also notice the cooling. The cooling shroud begins way before the split, so air is channeled in here, cools it off, versus this one where all the channeling is basically just for the rest of the pipe. The split doesn't get cooling. Also, the big difference is, yes, the outer shell is very, very thin, but that's just the outer pipe. The inner pipe, much thicker metal, including the V piece here with additional reinforcement inside. I'll try to show it to you. I don't know if you see that, but there is an additional piece of metal on that split right there. So this pipe should last a lot longer, or at least, forever, for as long as the model. One big difference is the size of this bell mouth, if you would, much larger. I do not think that's going to fit. The good news is that the diameter of this part of the pipe is the same, and I might be able to use the original bell mouth. Yes, it will suck in, let's say, less air around the motor, but I may not be able to fit this gigantic thing. So we'll see. More to come on that. Okay, so here you can see what I had to do to fit the new thrust tube. There was a support here that I cut out. I don't have a picture of it now, but this was removed. And you see the two spots, one on the top, one on the bottom, that's left over from that. And I had to shave off this one down here really flat to make the tube lay down and fit in here. This doesn't seem to have any structural impact on the fuselage. It's been flying like this many times now, and it works great. So just FYI, again, this is a view towards the back of the airplane in the inside of the fuselage. Okay, what you see here is the JP Hobby thrust pipe installed, and I did change out the bell mouth. This is the original bell mouth. As you see, it fits beautifully inside the new thrust pipe, and of course in front of the right behind the engine as well, because I kept the original bell mouth. As of the time of filming this, I've had many flights, at least 20 plus now with this setup, and the cooling, everything works great. So recommend using the original bell mouth. It'll be much easier to lay the pipe flat in the fuselage after shaving off that support that is behind there. So that's my recommendation. As you see, it fits really well. So let's look at the main Retract modifications. So I bought the JP Hobby struts that you see here. These are the ER150, 170 millimeter length, 16 millimeters in diameter on the strut, and 10 millimeter on the main axle there, a rotating axle, and the wheel is 6 millimeter. And here you have the original
BlackHorse, or I think these are made by Phoenix Model. So as you see, these struts are perfect length. They put the axle of the wheel exactly at the same place, and now they will look much more scale. And here's this pin that's on the Retract. On the original is 9.5 millimeters for some reason. So it fits into the 10 millimeter hole. I had to drill inside there a little bit because it wasn't going deep enough. It stops right there at this boundary. But if you drill a little bit with your drill press, it can go all the way in. And now you have a good fit here and perfect, same length. There's one caveat. The wheel on this original Retract, as you see, is pretty much at the same depth as the actual strut itself. This one will go under this, which means it has to go deeper into the fuselage. So let me show you what I did. The modification, I basically took my X-Acto knife and this plastic bottom here, I just cut it. So when the wheel goes in, it pushes in, there's plenty of room behind it, and pushes in and lets the Retract close or retract all the way. So that's how I'm going to do the mains. I am doing this for two reasons. I like the scale look, but also the JP Hobby struts. They just operate so much nicer. There's some dampening. They don't just, work like a strut with just a spring in it. There is a spring, but there's some dampening. So I think that will behave better during taxiing, but also on landings. So that's the mod I'm making to make the jet a little bit more scale. Again, still don't understand why BlackHorse couldn't have put proper scale struts. In terms of the retracts, the mechanisms themselves, I'm going to leave the housing, but I am replacing these motors with JP Hobby ER with an M4 shaft and 60 millimeter rong. So these are longer shafts than in the nose wheel. These will be drop-in replacements. The JP Hobby ones are much quieter. They don't buzz as much, and they rotate faster, so the retracting will be faster. These are very, very slow right now, and a lot of people have reported that they strip inside, so I don't want to risk it. I'm replacing those two. And here is my nose gear, also converted to a dual wheel, more scale look using the JP Hobby ER150 double nose wheel strut. So just to show you how that fits into the fuselage perfectly, and much softer spring. I put the softer spring in the strut, so I get that Mig-29 classic nose leaning down when you brake. So with the wheel hanging down below the strut versus being in line with it, there is an issue with getting the retracts to close and then come back up. Basically, the motor wasn't able to close the retract all the way, so this little slider that goes inside the trunnion was just over the hump here, and then the motor couldn't lower the strut a little bit lower to pull it back out. So what I decided to do is stop the travel so that the retract stops with the wheel. Just as you see here, this is like the bottom of the retract well, and the wheel will be just slightly above it, with this sticking a little bit out of the fuselage, which is fine because I'm going to have gear doors over it. The way I did that is I just added a cylinder right here that stops the trunnion, as you see, from moving past a certain thing. And this is a nice way to do that because you can tune how far up and down the retract stops, at what point it stops, by adjusting the diameter of this little added cylinder. So I had two I experimented with, and I settled on this one. This one was a little too thin. So That's one recommendation. Again, still, when the retracts are fully deployed and open, the slider locks in here on this side and everything works beautifully. This is just to adjust how far it closes to leave room for the wheel, which is now, again, below the strut versus in line with it. This is more of the scale way it is, and the fuselage retract opening was not prepared for that. So, because again, BlackHorse decided to use sports jet wheels on the Mig-29.
So with this picture, I wanted to show you the mod I made to the nose wheel. I replaced the motor with the JP Hobby one, and this is a strut that's an ER150 from JP Hobby, and I'll have links to all of these in the description below. And I've put the two 65 millimeter wheels on it, so it looks much more scale. I painted them green, and then again, I put a softer spring in the strut. And let me show you on this next picture. I basically cut the original strut here off right there, and the ER150 fits inside of it, and I was able to fasten it with this screw here. This plastic holder here for the light, I basically copied and slightly enlarged the Mig-29 lamp holder that Freewing uses, and this is just 3D printed, so I added this. But again, the ER150 strut from JP Hobby fits inside the opening of the original Phoenix landing gear strut for the nose here. It's thinner, but it's strong enough and fits in here, and I was able to fasten it with the two screws, one here and one on the other side. So thought I would show that as well. So I wanted to show you all as a final my inspiration for the landing gear. This is a Mig-29 near Krakow in Poland at an open air museum, basically aircraft museum. And as you see what the gear looks like, this was kind of the inspiration for this semi-scale model. See, here's the mains. On the full-scale MiG, it's kind of angled differently, but close enough with the struts. And here's the nose wheel. It's got some more elaborate movement here. It has a hydraulic pushing element here. But anyway, this was kind of my inspiration for this model. So hope you guys enjoyed this.
Thank you for watching. And please like and subscribe to get more of this wonderful content.